It's a silent disease that can be devastating. I'm talking about glaucoma. Glaucoma can result in vision loss, even blindness, if the condition is caught too late.
That's right. Here with more this morning is Dr. Robert Saltzmann with Charlotte Eye, Ear, Nose, and Throat Associates to tell us more. Dr. Saltzmann, good morning. Thanks for coming today.
Thanks, Colleen. Thanks for having me.
First off, what are some important things that we need to know about glaucoma? How do you define it? What is it exactly?
Well, first of all, glaucoma affects about 2% of adults in the U.S. over age 40. About 2.5 to 3 million people. But because our society is aging, particularly with the baby boom generation, we're expecting that number to almost double to about 6 million people over the next 30 years. Glaucoma is primarily a disease of the optic nerve. And historically, we've traditionally immediately associated glaucoma with eye pressure, but that's not necessarily the case. Glaucoma can actually occur at any pressure, and it's really our modern understanding of it is that it's about pressure imbalances within the eye, the delicate balance between eye pressure and blood flow and pressure within the fluid surrounding the brain and the optic nerve. And when that gets disrupted, the optic nerve gets damaged. The optic nerve is kind of like the battery in the camera of your eye, the power cord that connects your brain to the back of your eye. So just like in a camera, you could have a perfectly working lens and film and flash, but if the battery's dead, you can't take a picture.
Oh, I want to know, how much does your family history play a big part in this in genetics?
It's actually one of the key critical risk factors for glaucoma. If you had a first-degree relative, a sibling or a parent that has glaucoma, your risk goes up 4 to 8 times. And race and ethnicity also play an important role. African Americans are somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 to 8 times more likely than Caucasians to develop glaucoma. So we have to be actively looking for it, particularly since it's a silent disease. And because it's silent, we think about half of people that have glaucoma out there don't know that they have it.
Okay, so with that being said, doctor, what are some signs or symptoms if somebody has glaucoma?
Well, that's one of the scary parts about, at least when we're talking about garden variety open angle glaucoma. Often there are no symptoms. The vision loss that occurs that affects your peripheral vision happens slowly and silently, and it's not until the center critical part of our vision is affected that people will actually notice the symptoms. So we as eye doctors have to be incredibly vigilant about looking for it before things are too late and at that point irreversible.
Well, how was glaucoma traditionally treated?
Well, typically, even though, as I mentioned, eye pressure isn't the critical factor, it's still the only variable that we have any direct control over. So treatments are typically aimed at lowering that eye pressure wherever it starts from, starting with eye drops once a day, and then gradually moving to laser treatments and additional eye drops, and ultimately to surgery, which traditionally is aimed at basically bypassing the natural drainage system of the eye, a bit like you would think about heart bypass surgery.
What is new in treatment for glaucoma?
Well, this is kind of an exciting time to be a glaucoma specialist because we're facing sort of an avalanche of new treatments when it comes to more effective eye drops, different ways of delivering medicines into the eye so that we don't have to do this awkward dance of putting eye drops in our eyes. Us human beings are not well equipped to place eye drops in our eyes. Most of my patients will tell you most of the drops will fall down their cheek or miss their eye. And from a surgical standpoint, we're really amidst a new revolution in the way we think about treating glaucoma. It's been called MIGS, minimally invasive glaucoma surgery. And modern technology has given us the ability to implant very teeny tiny stents in the natural drainage system of the eye. The device manufacturers like to place these little devices next to a coin to kind of show relative size. One device, there's currently 2 FDA-approved devices. One called the eye stent is about the size of Abe Lincoln's bow tie on a penny. But in order to implant these devices, it requires a change in the way we think about treatment. These are designed to be placed much earlier in the course of the disease, and they don't lower pressure quite as much as our traditional surgeries do, but they're much safer. So the idea is if we can intervene a little earlier with surgery, and if we can't get the pressure all the way down, maybe we can get it down with 1 additional drop. But that mixture of surgery plus maybe 1 medicine might be a more manageable way to deal with the disease than waiting until things are too late and then doing a more risky surgery later on.
So do we have a number of eye care providers to meet the demand of glaucoma?
Well, that's been a growing challenge. As I mentioned, because the U.S. population is aging, the number of Medicare enrollees in the United States is expected to increase by about 46% by the year 2025. So we're looking at going from 50 million Americans on Medicare to closer to 70 million Americans on Medicare. And as a consequence, that's going to raise the number of people in our waiting rooms by 40 to 50%. And yet the number of eye doctors in the U.S. has been pretty stagnant in the 18 to 20,000 range for the last several decades. So this is where we really have to continue to partner with optometrists in the community and primary care doctors so that we can continue to find creative ways to deliver efficient care.
What boils down to is we need to get our eyes checked. To make an appointment with Dr. Saltzmann, call Charlotte Eye, Ear, Nose, and Throat Associates. The number is 704-295-3000. It's right there on your screen, 704-295-3000, or visit their website. It's goodsenses.com, goodsenses.com. Dr. Saltzmann, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
All right.